So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. Today we're going to be answering Ask HR questions from Reddit because I'm banned. This is part of a long series that I've been doing that covers the topics in HR that people have their burning, deepest questions about, and I try to answer them. The first one up is a sudden end to remote work out of New York. The HR policy at Bath and Body Works, and we'll talk about that one in greater detail out of California. And then finally, from New Jersey, they resigned, and now HR wants to talk to me. Let's start off with a sudden end to remote work in New York. This person posted transitioning out of their role because boss is ordering everyone into the office a few days a week in spite of a COVID surge. They've been working remote for a year plus. They filled out a form ensuring the agreement to work remote and emailed it to the boss after they agreed they worked. A boss is trying to make them come in despite their role not requiring it for last 9 days of work. Can I be fired for just not coming in? Yeah, I mean you're not working where they've asked you to work, and so as a result you can be terminated. Now, if I had to guess, this is part of a company-wide initiative to reduce their costs and lay off employees, and it's pretty easy to lay off employees if they're just going to quit like this and get down to headcounts that are supportable. And I typically think that a lot of the return to office drives currently are specifically surrounded on the need to cut costs. I understand the nervousness surrounding COVID, but I also recognize that the job market is very tough, and quitting a position in this market is probably not the best idea. That said, ultimately, yes, they could fire you. You're already leaving, and in fact, it would probably be best if you got fired, potentially, at least in New York, to get unemployment because you're quitting, and that is a much more difficult shot at getting unemployment in that scenario. This is labeled BBW HR policy, but it's about Bath and Body Works. Oh, I guess it's BBW. This person, this person uh, works there. Their hours have been drastically cut to the point where they were working twice a week, 2 times biweekly. The manager said it was due to their performance. She was told she was never coached. Didn't have an answer for her, and then she was told by another coworker that she overheard them talking about the negative attitude towards customers, but hours have gone up, just nowhere near what they were making before. The question is whether or not it's a reasonable situation to contact HR. Yeah, this isn't really an HR issue, right? The You're allegedly a poor performer, and what does the company need to do? Now, I would, potentially, if you felt comfortable and courageous enough and didn't care about potentially losing your job, you could bring it up the chain to their manager and let them know that you're not being coached. Since this is a part-time job, I don't know that I would move to that path, but that would be an outlet for you. The reality most likely is that your manager is just a bad manager, and that's pretty common for roles like this. For part-time retail roles is to have bad managers. That's kind of the nature of the game, and that's what it sounds like here. It's not really something to reach out to HR, but it could be something to reach up out the chain, depending on how comfortable you feel with them and how involved they are in the day to day at the work. I would advise against that, however. This one's a little bit confusing out of New Jersey, but the question is, I resigned and now HR wants to talk to me. They resigned last week from their position. I assume that they're still working there, but that they're quitting in the next 2 weeks or so. They've worked there 12 years and they're leaving because the supervisor is affecting their mental health and pushing them out. And so HR wants to talk. What can they possibly want to speak to me about? Well, for one, I imagine that they are interested in the fact that a very fairly tenured employee is leaving, and they feel like they might need to intervene. They probably won't ask you to stay. I wouldn't. I don't do that, but I would be very interested in why a tenured employee is leaving the company. And generally speaking, in addition, if they're not even interested in that, they're of course doing a general exit interview or a checkout, right? They still need to get your keys, and they still need to speak with you maybe immediately about terminating your employment immediately, depending on the sensitivity of what you do. But ultimately, HR really, that's where HR is supposed to shine, is to be involved in exits and understand the dynamics of the internal relationship in the workplace. And I mean, the hope is that HR is recognizing that your manager has been losing multiple people, and as a result, needs to intervene, maybe speak with that person's manager or go up the chain. Otherwise, when they're identifying these trends, that's what good HR does. I mean, frankly, this should be par for the course at most functioning HR departments is for HR to talk to you after when you've submitted your resignation, either good or bad. Well, that's it for this for today on Human Resources for the People. Let me know, do you feel concerned when HR wants to talk, kind of out of the blue after termination? Leave a like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.